solve for x in this equation. Okay, so this is an exponential equation. We have 3 raised to the power 3x plus 1 plus 3 raised to the power 1 minus x equals 10. How do we solve this equation to determine the value of x? Solution. So from here we have 3 raised to the power x plus 1 plus 3 raised to the power 1 minus x equals 10. So from here, when we look at 3 raised to the power x plus 1, we can write this as 3 raised to the power x times 3 raised to the power 1. Okay, law of indices, when you have the same base, okay, add up the power, which is this, plus, and for 3 raised to the power 1 minus x, you can write this as 3 raised to the power 1 divided by 3 raised to the power x. Okay, so law of indices, you have the same base, you subtract the exponent. Okay, so equals 10. Okay, so at this point we have 3 raised to the power x, we have 3 raised to the power x. We can assume any letter of the alphabet. Let's say y equals 3 raised to the power x. Okay, so for y to be 3 raised to the power x, we substitute y to be 3 raised to the power x wherever we see 3 raised to the power x in this equation. So for 3 raised to the power x here, we have it as y times 3, which is this, plus this 3 over, for 3 raised to the power x, we have to be y, okay, equals 10. 3 times y is 3y plus 3 over y, which is this, equals 10. So by the time you solve this, okay, the LCM is y, so we have this to be 3y squared, okay, plus 3 equals 10y. Okay, so when we write this, we have this as 3y squared plus 3 minus 10y equals 0. So from here, we have this to be 3y squared plus 3 minus 10y equals to 0. So you can write it as 3y squared minus 10y plus 3 equals to 0. Now from here, we can factorize this. Okay, so when we look at this, we use 9 and 1. 3 times 3 is 9. So here we have 3y squared minus 9y minus y plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so when you group this, the common factor here is 3y, okay, into y minus, we have this as 3, okay, minus 1 is the common factor, we have 1, y minus 3 equals 0. So here we have 3y minus 1, we have here y minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so for 3y minus 1 equals 0, so that means y equals 1 over 3. Okay, and for y minus 3 equals 0, it means y equals 3. When we come back here, the value of y equals 3 raised to the power x, which is this. Okay, and y is representing 1 over 3 at this point, so we can write this as 3 raised to the power x equals 1 over 3. Okay, so from here we have this as 3 raised to the power x. Okay, we can write this as 3 raised to the power minus 1. Okay, so we have the same base, so we can equate the exponents. We have x equals minus 1. Okay, the first case. In the second case, when y equals 3 raised to the power x, which is this, okay, the value of y here is 3. So we have this as 3x equals 3 raised to the power 1, which is written as 3. So we can equate the exponents. Okay, since we have the same base, so we have x equals 1. So the value of x is either minus 1 or 1. Okay, so by the time we want to check either of these value in this equation, okay, we are going to have 10. So let's work with minus 1. So when x is minus 1, we have this as 3 raised to the power minus 1 plus 1, which is this, plus, so in this place we have this as 3 raised to the power minus 1, okay, sorry, 3 raised to the power 1 minus 1 minus minus 1. Okay, so when we solve this, do we have 10? Let's check. So here we have 3 raised to the power 0 plus, okay, this minus 1 plus 1, which is 0, plus 3 For 1 minus times minus 1 is 1 plus 1. Okay, so we have 3 raised to the power 0 plus 3 raised to the power 2. Okay, for anything raised to the power 0, law of indices, do not forget, anything raised to the power 0 gives us 1. So 3 raised to the power 0 is 1. 1 plus 3 raised to the power 2 is 9. 1 plus 9 equals 10. So in the second case, when x is 1, okay, this is the value of x. When x is 1, we plug in 1, so we have 3 raised to the power 1 plus 1, which is this, plus 3 raised to the power 1 minus 1, which is this. So from here we have this to be 3 raised to the power, for 1 plus 1 is 2, okay, plus, here we have this to be 3 raised to the power 1 minus 1 is 0. For 3 raised to the power 2, we have it to be 9, plus anything raised to the power 0, law of indices, we have to be 1. 9 plus 1 equals 10. So that means the value of x is either minus 1 or 1. Thank you very much.